Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and it is about 5 o'clock and I've just taken delivery of the new twonotes OPUS, I think it's called. Twonotes OPUS, the brand new thing that everyone's talking about at the moment. And the chances are, if you're seeing this video, you're probably new to the channel, so I'm just going to explain what it is I want from this for a second, and then we'll get to it and sort of see how good it sounds. But I have always had trouble with the line out on the Tone Master amps, and you can watch them to see what I mean. But nonetheless, I still really like the idea of having a kind of tap in between your amp and your cabinet, so you can still enjoy the amp yourself how you want to enjoy it, but there's a good quality recorded signal without mics, you know, coming down for YouTube, for PA, for whatever, without worrying about the mics and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So that is what this is for. And most of the videos, you know, the paid for YouTube videos, have been exploring this thing's amp emulation. And in all fairness, I haven't been, you know, totally blown away by that. Even people like Pete Fawn that can get literally anything they're sent to sound great, I didn't think sounded amazing. But like I said, this for me is much more, I'm way more interested in it as an IR send sort of thing. So, you know, that's kind of why I've got it and what draws me to it. And, you know, I could have just got the Cab M+, but this is the newest version, so why not have the newest version? So let's open it up and see what you get in the box. I'm going to have to do this without showing like my addresses and stuff, I suppose. So there we go. I'm guessing there's a receipt or something in there. I don't know. Either way, whatever, won't worry about that now. So there you go, this is the OPUS by Twonotes as it comes when you open it. So it's sealed at the minute. I did bring some scissors in. Let's open it up and see what's in the box. So look, it's pretty nicely presented, to be fair. Open it up, you got all the quick start guides and stuff like that. I'm guessing there'll be some QR things on here to download the app here. And this is actually the first time I've ever owned any kind of hardware. I've never owned a Cab M+ or a pedal that does the IR stuff for you. So this for me is totally uncharted territory. I don't know how the app works. Literally at this point in time, I don't actually know how to use this thing at all. And I'm hoping that kind of makes it a bit more realistic, because it's one thing knowing how to get, you know, amazing sounds out of this sort of stuff, but if you're kind of new to it and you just want it to sound great, is it going to sound great? So I can see the OPUS in there. This has got some stuff in it. I'm guessing it's power. Yeah, so it does come with a power supply, which I thought it did. What else you got in here? IEC, is it? Yeah, that's just weird. Didn't expect it to have an IEC. That's power brick. Because on the specs, this thing only uses like 12 volts and what was it, 200 amps, so it's really not power hungry. USB-C lead, that reminds me actually, I'll come to that when I get to it in a minute, but I might have just thought of a little problem. And a MIDI thing, so I'll best keep that safe because that'll come in handy for sure at some point. So in terms of what you need, you get your power, you get your MIDI leads, you don't get an XLR lead or anything, but that's, you know, that's fair enough. So, and obviously the OPUS itself is the last thing in the box. So I'm not going to mess around with, you know, showing you kind of all the apps and all the settings on this, because people have done that already, but that's the form factor of it anyway. I've got a Boss pedal here so you can actually understand the size of it. So it is literally the same height as a Boss pedal, exactly the same height, that's obviously by design, and 1.5 wide, so it's an absolutely tiny device. And if this thing sounds as good as I hope it's going to sound, it's a genius thing, and that's why I took a punt on it. So I'm going to get this set up. I'll turn you around to the amp for a minute and I'll show you how I think it's set up. Let me turn you around over here. So my plan is that basically this sits in between the head and the cab, and then XLR lead comes out of here into my computer, and that's the audio you're going to hear. So what I need to do, let me just make sure you can see me. Let's go down here. What I need to do now is get this thing set up. I'm not going to play it or anything off camera, but I am going to need to demote you to my desktop camera because I need my phone to control this on the app, because I'm not going to plug it in. I'm just going to use the phone and see how that all works. So you're going to be on my desktop camera while I use my phone, but the sound is what we're looking for here, and the sound you'll hear is going to come directly out of this thing. Pedal board going into the Katana. I'm going to hear my amp as normal, and you're going to hear the sounds that come out of this, and hopefully they're decent without having to use third-party software, without having to download stuff. I just want this to sound good the minute you take it out of the box. So let me set it up and then we'll see if that's the case. So I thought it would be quickly beneficial to show you how this is wired in, because you won't see this when I stick you over on the desk cam. So essentially it's plugged in, like I said, quite a beefy power supply for some reason, but that's the power supply just there. And then I'm hoping that when this is off, everything still works, because it'd be a pain to have that on all the time, but we'll get to that. Wiring wise, this comes out from the back of your head, so that's where it normally plug into your cab, and then this one goes out down into your cab, so it's literally being sat, you know, straight in the middle of whatever head and cab you've got. And then I've got an XLR coming out, which is sending the cab and microphone signal, you know, down the wire and then down up into your computer, which is then what you're going to hear on recordings, or it go to your PA or anything like that. So I'll put you over to the desk cam now. I just need to turn my computer on and stuff, and then we will see how it sounds, and you will hear my very first reactions. And I also need to figure out how this app works as well, so we'll do all that in real time. All right then, so I've just sat down. Everything is now powered on, and it's just in the same way you would have it on, you know, when you literally unbox it. So what I need to do now is I've downloaded the app onto my phone, and if you've watched other videos, you'll know what the app looks like, but I will talk you through what it tells you. It's just come up, first time I've opened the app, it says Torpedo Wireless would like to use Bluetooth. Press OK. And then I've got some kind of instructions here. The OPUS is about to be connected. You will need its PIN code. Didn't know that, so here we go. This is what it's all about. Enter the menu by pressing left encoder. If this does get tedious, because I'm, you know, fumbling around, it's as real time as it gets. I've never used anything like this, so it's asking me to go over here and do some stuff. It's actually quite good that it's got a pin, actually, right now I think about it, because I was thinking, what if you was at a gig and you noticed a guitarist using this, and you could get your phone out and mess around with their sound? But no, you can't. So let's I'm sorry I'm out of shot for a sec, but I just got to figure this out. Enter the menu by pressing the left encoder. Scroll to global, and there's just two controls on the actual device. They're quite, you know, simple to figure out what's going on. Scroll to global and enter it by pressing the right encoder. Global. I'm basically just following these instructions at the moment. Like I said, I didn't know that that's what it was going to do. Global. There we go. Scroll to the BLE pin code. What the fuck? Right, here we go. We are getting oh god, what have I gone and done here? Global. Line routing. Audio performance. Okay, this is all good. It's easy enough. You just got to scroll through quite a lot more menus than you expect. Scroll to the BLE pin code page and input the code in your tablet. Right, so the device itself is giving me a code that I then put into my phone. So that's pretty easy, that's fine. It's giving me the code, I'm not having any problems yet. 630. Oh, Ben, I'll tell you the code. Right, so let me try and show you what it's saying. It's telling me it's connecting to Torpedo. And this is how long it takes to connect. Maybe it's the first time. Loading IRs from bank. I literally don't have a clue what any of this is, but it's talking to it. And now this is the screen I've got at the moment. So I'm guessing that's paired. Let me have a quick look at the device to see what it says. Yes, I think that's paired. So we haven't had any pairing issues right from the off. So we're off to a good start. But now I've got to figure out how I actually use the app in real time. What I want to try and do straight away is turn any kind of amp modeling off, because I've got an amp. I don't need an amp on top of that, you know. So it's a case of how do I actually do that? How quickly can I figure that out? So I mean, it's by default that's the mic page by the looks. So how do I look at you know what's what? Ah, here we go. So I just press the view there and it takes me, this here now is the preamps, which it does come default on. So at the moment it's stacking a Marshall type 6L6 preset on top of my amp, and that'll probably sound bad. I don't know, I haven't heard it, but I am going to turn that off. That's easy enough. Nice on, simple on and off switches. So right now all I've got, I've turned that off and I've got nothing but the microphones on. But then again, where's the caps? Okay, 1-3 Lexi. Right, I'm just going to leave that alone and plug in my guitar and see what sort of sound we've got, essentially. Go with the trusty Eastman because it's my favourite guitar. And I am going to have to put headphones on because you'll be hearing it obviously from the device and I'll be hearing the guitar in the room. So to hear what that's sounding like, I'm going to need headphones on. So let me record in the audio thing so you've got something to hear back. You'd normally do this bit off camera. Right, so that's recording in there. Right, and so, do I have sound? No, my tuner's on. Do I have sound? Right, I don't have sound at this point in time through my amp or the recording device. And I don't know why that is, so let's look. Okay, so I have now managed to get sound. And the sound's coming from the amp and it should be going into the door as well. So I'll transfer the audio you'll hear now just coming straight from the OPUS, whatever it's called. And the app here is sort of telling me in real time what's going on. So if I play, you know, we've got the signal lines coming in on the bottom there. So I'm going to have to put these on so I can hear what I'm changing in the app, but it's good to know that the speaker's working and the 2notes is doing its thing. So let's see how good it sounds. This is as you open the app without changing anything other than turning off the preamps. So that to me is sounding very, very bright. So now let's try and figure out what's going on. So I've got all the options to change the mic. Like I said, you would have seen this app on other videos, so sorry you can't see exactly what I'm seeing, but I'm just going to try and dial in a pretty good sound sort of thing. So 57. I can move the microphones around. I'm only seeing an option to use one or the other mic at the minute, and I know that somehow you can combine the two. And one thing I do want to test actually is on the preamp demos, I noticed this thing had quite a lot of noise in it. But with that off, I'm using no noise gate or anything on my board or through the app. And to be fair, when you got the power amp off, that noise issue that I've seen in other videos does seem to be gone. That's no noisier than normal. It's still a little bit direct somehow. That's not quite the sound I'm after. Let's try playing with the cabinets. That's the stock one that loads in. 1-3 Lexi it's called. So if I change these, I should get a change in sound. Yes, I do. My phone's going like mad. That's the problem with using a phone for everything. It becomes everything and a pain in the bum. I'm getting 500 messages. I hope you can't hear those. So that's quite bright as well. That's the one freed Lexi again. The app's a bit funny when you're touching the screen, I have to say. This is and what is this? Should have worn my glasses. This is some kind of 412, I think. Right, so let's have a look. So I'm going to go back into this little EQ section here because they're all sounding too bright to me. And let's just play with this. And no, let's have a little look at the cabs actually. Try and find a slightly warmer sounding cab. And again, this is exactly what you'll hear when you first start using it. There's no dress or polish on this. This is the kind of out the box experience. That sounds big. Alright, maybe I'm just trying to find a good jumping off point. You notice how the gain's changing quite a bit between cabs, even though I haven't started playing with the pedal board yet. I mean, let's just stick with that for a minute for the sake of playing around. Right, this EQ thing. So the EQ is on, so EQ off. That's better straight away. It comes preset with absolutely everything on for some reason. Trying not to play any copyright stuff, by the way, doing this demo because I've already got a strike for that. I mean, that don't sound too bad through my headphones here. And what is worth mentioning is I've got my amp in the room set to the exact volume I'd normally have for home playing. Like that, it's getting on for 6 o'clock now, 5:45. I would play like this until 9-10 o'clock without worrying about waking up the family. And it hasn't messed around with the line out levels of the 2-notes because that's entirely separate. So that was the issue I had with the Tone Master line out in a nutshell, was the fact that they were linked and it was a pain in the bum. So I think now I've turned that EQ off, let's just hear a couple more cabs. I know the play inside of this is going to be boring. If I like the way this sounds, you'll hear it on loads of videos going forward, so just check back and listen to those and that's what you'll be hearing. Right, let's have a look at some other cabs now that EQ's off. So the EQ section, it stays off, it stays independent of whatever cab you're putting on, so it doesn't just constantly reset itself by the looks of things. There's quite a lot of gain on that. Let's see how it takes like a normal drive pedal. That's a good point actually. I'm hearing what you're hearing, and there's more gain on this line out than there is on the actual amplifier. Not by a lot, but it's definitely adding some gain. Is there like a booster that's on without me knowing? Let's have a look. There was. It's called the enhancer. That was on. So off. On. I don't know if that's adding much gain, but we'll keep it off for the time being. So I don't mind that cab sound. That is the 57 on a Marshall oversized 412. Or it could be a Messer oversized 412. I am working off just this little screen, and I am also blind as a bat. So I should probably do what I don't normally do on video and stick my glasses on so I can actually see the phone. That's the 57. This is the 121. Okay, I'm not hearing a difference between those two. I don't know if I'm doing that right or not. Gotta say, I'm finding the touch responsiveness of the app a little bit annoying. This isn't the only way to control that, thank goodness. There is a desktop editor as well. But I'm finding the app a little bit finicky on my phone. But that's, to be fair, I mean, I've set myself up for disaster by doing this completely in real time, but and that sounds okay. And I'm not having any kind of level issues yet either. I've not had to kind of mess around with that at all. So, let me play with a few more cabs. I don't know how many's in here. So right now, I'm not sure what cab that is just there. Some kind of 412. I kind of want to see what the 212 sound like, given that I use a 212. That's definitely an orange cab. Another Marshall 412. Bit thin, that one. Everything's 412 so far. That's bass. See what it's like for a bass cab. Bassy. Another bass cab, another bass cab. Oh, here we go, into the 112s now. Quite boxy sounding, 212. Again, that's very bright. That's quite nice, I like that. Right, let's just stick with that for a second while I carry on learning how to use the app. To be honest, I think the fact that I can do this, I can navigate this app. I've never owned anything like this before. And I'm doing it in real time, on camera. The fact that I'm able to do this at all is probably a good thing for the app. You know, it worked, the levels worked, it paired straight away. And I am managing to find sounds without messing around with a single setting other than just browsing them that I think are okay. And for me in the room, I've got my cab. I'm happy with the way that sounds. This is just for everyone listening sort of thing. So if I turn that EQ from earlier back on with this sound, let's see what we get. Yeah, see, the way that EQ is preset, you've got, it's kind of a parametric sort of EQ, and everything apart from 400k is boosted by what we look in here, from 4 to 5 dB. So the preset on that EQ is not the best. I'll leave that off for now. I'm not going to mess around with that. I don't see the need, because you know, all the EQ should be kind of already done with the way my guitar sounds. That's the enhancer on it. I honestly prefer the EQ enhancer and everything off. There is a bit of reverb on here, but I've got that off, and the reverb you're hearing is my actual pedal down there. The Flint. Right, so anything else that I should know about in here? No, that's all. That's back to my cabs. What I'm trying to figure out how to do, again in real time, is, as far as I can tell, I'm only getting one microphone. And I don't know how you blend both microphones. Preset level, so I can boost that up a little bit. Ooh. So controlling the volume on the app is obviously a bit difficult, because you've kind of only got a little space to slide your thumb. You know that? About there should be right. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. Again, out the box kind of sounds. I just want to hear how it takes real pedals. So if I, because again, there's a bit more gain on that than my actual sound. So that's my normal sound. Let's put on a drive pedal on top of that. So now I'm not sure about the gain difference there. There's something in there that I clearly need to play about with and change, that out the box is not quite right. So I'll give that the benefit of the doubt. But there's definitely the gain that I'm giving the DI is more than the gain that I'm getting from my actual amplifier. So that's going to take some playing around with. But obviously this is quite a bizarre video and the way to demo a product, because usually you would learn how to use it, make your presets, but I just wanted to show you what is it like to actually use straight out the box. What does it actually sound like without the knowledge of what else can I fiddle about with? What external software can I use on that to tame things down, to smooth things out? Because you don't have that. You have what comes out of the box. And this, you know, that's what you're kind of hearing now. So what I'll probably do... Oh, I've just messed around with something there. What I'll probably do is 2 parts to this video. So now you've heard what it's like out of the box and how, you know, how it sounds straight away just through flicking through the cabs. I will go ahead and try and make some presets, try and figure out, you know, how to closely match the actual, what I'm hearing versus the DI. And I'll make a part 2, which will be a bit more of a conventional kind of demo, if we like. And then I'll probably cover the amps in that video as well, because like I said at the start, I'm not overly fussed about those amps, but I'll cover them anyway. So I think I'm just going to play a little bit more with this sound, just sort of show you a little bit more how it sounds, and that's it. Maybe look at a few more cabs as well. Let's do that. $112 now. A lot of G chords in this. This is kind of like a Fender Twin type of 210, I suppose, 212. Box, but again, these are just, you know, they're not amps, they're just the cabs. And that's pretty cool. Again, still a bit bright, but we do have EQ in there to play with kind of when you've, you know, spent time with it. What's this? Another kind of 112. Let's go back. So there's a lot in here because I'm still going through the cabs. Another 412. I think we're back to the start. Yeah, that's the default Friedman. So I don't know how many that was, but there's a whole lot of 412s and maybe half a dozen 112 and 212s, and then your bass stuff as well. So let's try and find my favourite one where I was. Let's try some other like different effects, maybe like a, how does it take, I don't know, delay or something. So that's sounding lower gain, that cab. That was one of the orange cabs. Back in the basses. The visuals, you can clearly tell what it's trying to be, so the visuals are pretty nice and simple to understand. I am just struggling a bit tapping through. That's the one I liked, I think. No, wasn't that one. Which one was it? Where are we at? It was one of the 212s. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm having to, this screen, it's super unresponsive. You might get like one in every kind of 3 or 4 taps that actually works. But again, this isn't the only way to control this. It's just the way I wanted to do it, you know, for ease of use, to see what it was like. Let that count. So what I'll do just quickly is, this is the sound that you've obviously been hearing through the app. And I'll switch so you can hear what the cab sounds like through the camera mic in the room. And I'll do that real quickly to give you a very fast A/B. So they're not a million miles away. I'm going to have to end that there because I clearly, as I'm sure you've probably guessed, need to kind of just dial in some patches myself. And that's fine because, you know, you can have your own individual preferences and stuff. But given that that is an out-the-box experience, out-the-box sound, out-the-box levels, etc., I think that sounds pretty good. And like I said, I will come back to the actual amp modelling of it in a follow-up video when I've had a bit more time to get to know it. But let me know what you think, because that's what this gear is like. That's what it's like when you first get something. You have no idea what it is. You have no idea how it's going to sound compared to all the videos you've seen. And that's the result so far, without deep diving into it. So let me know if you like this video. It's very rare you'll find someone willing to post quite an exposing video, I suppose, like this. But I will see you for a more conventional video next, and thank you very much for watching.